Hello there! So today I am going to be talking about weight loss. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got a little bit teenier recently, and no, it was not an accident. I have actually been working very hard to try and actively lose weight. So I wanted to sort of talk to you guys about my journey, my progress and everything. A lot of people have noticed this on Instagram and they've messaged me about it and they're like, hey, yo, like, how did you do that? Yeah, a lot of people have commented like, wow, you look great, or like they've seen me in real life and they're like, what's going on? You're so happy now. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to do a video talking about my journey, my weight loss, and how I've sort of been able to keep it off now. I've also never filmed a video standing up and it's so freeing. I can just do this, like why haven't I been doing it more often? So a little bit about my journey. Growing up, I have always been a little bit of a chubbier kid. I don't think I was necessarily severely overweight, but I was always just a slightly bit chubbier than the rest of the kids in my class, and it was really extremely hard for me to lose weight. I think I have the type of body where I just sort of retain fat, and my body really likes it. So around like the time I was 15 to 16, I thought to myself, I kind of want to get into shape. I started doing some pretty crazy diets, and I really don't recommend any of them. I just didn't have really good nutritional health. By the time I got into college, I was pretty slim due to my crazy fad diets and like just having really terrible eating patterns. And life was pretty good, you know? But by the time I graduated college and I got my first job, holy smokes, I got chubby. And I'm not saying being chubby is like a bad thing. Some people can really rock it, like some people look great with a little bit of fat on them. But for me, I could definitely feel the weight. Like I felt as though I was heavy, I was always lethargic. It was really hard for me to like do really basic exercises. I got chubby. I think it had a lot to do with my lifestyle. First of all, it was my first time that I had money. I was like, I have a job now, so I started treating myself, like started eating out a lot. I was always constantly tired. So as a result, I didn't want to cook, so I would just eat out, and it was just a vicious cycle. Drinking was also another aspect. I used to drink like maybe once or twice a month, and then that like evolved into me drinking like 3 to 5 times a week because of my lifestyle and because where I worked, there would be free alcohol and free food. So yeah, I just got chubby. I gained like 20 pounds, y'all. Like I went from 120 to 140 in like a year or two. I'm pretty small, so 140 to some people that might be average, but I'm pretty small. So you can definitely tell that I got a little chunkier. It was really hard for me to lose the weight, but I told myself like, hey, I need a lifestyle change. I can't sustain this. I feel very tired and I just really need to just change the way I look at food, change the way I look at exercise. I really forced myself to be more health conscious this year. So within the span of a few months, I lost like 15, 20 pounds. I went from 140 to right now I am anywhere between 121 to 125, depending on how much I eat, how much I sweat, if I had salt. I'm pretty happy right now with my weight. It's not my goal weight. With my lifestyle choices, it makes sense. I think eventually I would want to hit my goal weight, and my goal weight would be between 115 to 120. But with that said, I think that to get there would take a lot more drastic lifestyle changes. So I'm just getting there, but very, very slowly. This was my journey, and I'm gonna give you a few helpful tips on how I lost weight. As a disclaimer, no, I am not in any way, shape, or form a medical professional. Please take my advice with a grain of salt. These are things that work for me, but everyone's body is really different, so might not work for you. So half of these tips are like what mentally helped me, and half of these tips are actually active things you can do to help. I just did a little bit of both because I think for me, the mental aspect of losing weight was way harder. There are many more like in my head hurdles. So yeah, I'll just get into it. So the first thing is drink water. And drinking water is like essential. People recommend they drink anywhere between 1.5 to 2 liters of water. I really try to hit that. I don't do it every day, but I just really try drinking water. I find myself that if I drink water before a meal, I will feel fuller faster. So drink water, kids. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. So I'm the type of person where I'm a really big perfectionist. If I mess up and I eat something really terrible, I will think, oh my God, my whole day, my whole week is ruined. There's really no point. And then I'll overindulge and I'll eat chocolate and chips and pizza. One meal isn't gonna mess up your weight. Like, you can have like a cheeseburger and your weight will probably just stay the same. It is the accumulation of all your bad choices that make you heavier. I think that don't be discouraged if you mess up. You shouldn't feel bad, and just don't let it throw you off track. You'll just get over it, enjoy the cheeseburger, and then move on. With that said, stop seeing food as good or bad. A lot of times when I go on a diet, I would think that this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and then this is good, this is good, this is good. I think that type of thinking is actually not that great for you. You'll start to think that certain foods are off limits, and that's another rule I like to have. Nothing is off limits. For me, when I think that foods are off limits, I get into this weird scarcity mode and I actually overeat. I'll get really scared. I'll be like, I can never eat this again. So I'll just start craving it, and lo and behold, I'll just be like knee deep in chicken tenders. So knowing that, telling me that nothing is off limits, I actually crave foods a lot less. So having like a healthier approach to this on limit, off limit thing really helped me. Oh, start slow. So have you ever tried doing like some crazy diet and you're like, I'm only gonna eat like carrots for a day? Please don't do that. That is terrible for you. You'll also turn orange. When I used to start like new health regimens, I would go hard. Like, I would be like, today we're doing no sugar, no carbs, no processed foods, no eating between this time. And I would have all these crazy strict rules, and it would just overwhelm me so much because, you know, your body isn't used to taking away all this stuff, and it kind of goes haywire. So for me, when I first started doing this, I did little baby steps at a time. I would do little things like, okay, we're gonna start off by cutting carbs out of one meal. So I would do like little incremental changes to develop good habits until those things became really ingrained in me and became ingrained in my lifestyle, and I no longer needed it. Yeah, but I really recommend starting slow. Don't try to overwhelm yourself by doing too much at once. Track your progress in an app. So I find that when you use an app to track your progress, it kind of helps to just put you in check. Like, it's a routine that you do every day, and you know that you're doing it every day, and it kind of puts you in the mindset. I really like using this app called Noom. No, I didn't get paid. It also helps because it can track your weight, it tracks your food, and there's a community of people where you can interact with. There's just a lot of perks to using the app, and it only takes like 10 minutes. And there's a free trial linked below if you want to take a look. It helps me from falling down like a slippery slope. So for me, I would just take my weight in the morning, take like 1 minute, put my weight in, and then at the end of the day, I would log my meals. I actually don't like logging my meals throughout the day because I feel like it's just too much. So at the end of the day, I'll log my meals and see how I'm doing. And say I've like overeaten, like I'm like, oh my god, I ate way too much. Then the next day I'll sort of like compensate for that. Having the routine of checking into an app every day really helped me stay on track. Brush your teeth after eating dinner. So this is a little trick that I use, but it was so helpful. I mean, I like being healthy now, but I'm also really lazy at certain things. So what I found to really help me curb my nighttime cravings, because I am a nighttime snacker, I actually am not as hungry in the day. It's night when it all goes crazy and I'm like, oh my god, I want like ramen right now. After dinner, I'll brush my teeth. And brushing my teeth is like, that's it. That's the end of the night. Do not try to eat anymore because you're gonna have to go and brush in there again. I also have braces, so brushing my teeth is not just like brushing. It's like, I gotta get in there, I gotta floss. It's this whole ordeal. And by the time I'm finished brushing, my teeth feel so clean. And I don't wanna mess it up by eating more food. So yeah, so brush your teeth after eating dinner, and you're not gonna wanna eat at night. Alcohol intake. Oh my gosh, so this could be a whole different video on its own. I'll try and sort of like, you know, like do the Spark Notes version of alcohol. So alcohol, as everyone knows, empty calories. Like, it doesn't really do much for your body. You can't really live off of alcohol. You shouldn't anyway. And with alcohol, I found that I used to drink like a lot. The first 5 pounds I ever lost was just from restricting alcohol alone. So when I first started going on this diet journey, I told myself like, hey, you really need a lifestyle change. No more drinking every day. I feel like alcohol is a very social thing, but alcohol is sort of like a thing that you can't escape, because when you're going out, what does everyone do? They just go and they drink. It's just a way of life. So I think it's really hard to avoid. I found these things to really help with when I do drink alcohol. Beverage choice. I used to drink crazy cocktails, like cocktails that had a lot of sugar. They're so tasty, some syrup, honey, fruit juices. Oh, so yummy. I'm not saying you can't have a nice cocktail every once in a while, but it should be a once in a while thing. Like, you shouldn't be having like 5 cocktails that are delicious. Unless you want to, and then by all means go ahead, but this video ain't about that. For me now, I feel like if I have a nice cocktail, it's more of like a treat rather than like, oh my gosh, a daily occurrence, which is how I treat a lot of these things now. It's like a treat. Like, you drink it, it tastes good, oh my god, life's great. But my go-tos now from when I drink a lot of sparkling wine, like champagne, cava, prosecco. That's my go-to. It's actually very calorie efficient and it's super tasty. I drink wine, and then if I do drink hard alcohols, I either drink them iced, like I sometimes will have whiskey on ice, or I'll drink like a vodka with club soda. It's actually really good because I barely get hangovers when I drink it because I'm drinking vodka, I'm drinking water at the same time. I'll have like a hard alcohol plus soda water and like a little bit of lime. I actually really like it. It kind of just tastes like a LaCroix. I just tend to choose lower calorie drinks when I do drink. And then in terms of drinking, I don't know if this is a popular opinion, so again, take my advice at your own risk. So a lot of people, before they drink, they tell you to carb load, which means like you have a lot of carbs, so then you can drink more, and then you have more carbs afterwards because you're hungover. So I used to do this. I mean, I think it's good because it like pads your stomach, but what ends up happening for me is that I would eat a lot of carbs and then I would drink a lot more. So I thought about it and I was like, what if I just ate less and drank less? So I started doing that. So now when I go out and I drink, I actually have a lighter meal. I drink a little bit less, and then I have a slightly bigger meal afterwards. This method really works for me. I don't know if it's for everyone. If you're really good with like your alcohol intake, I think it's like a good strategy to use. That is alcohol. Our next point is social eating. I feel like eating is a very social activity. I like eating out with my friends. I like going out with my friends. It's like an activity that everyone does because everyone has to eat. I feel like there are like different methods because you never want to be the person who's like, we can't go here. I have like a dietary restriction. I always want to be very accommodating to my friends. I think your friends should always respect your eating choices. Like they should never peer pressure you to have French fries if you don't want to have French fries. The same goes the other way. You should never restrict your friends' food choices for your own dietary preferences. With that said, whenever I do go out to eat, I try to do family style. So for me, family style really works because I have a lot of variety of food and I tend to eat less when it's family style. When I have a huge plate of food in front of me, I'll just eat it all. I find that when everyone's sharing, I'm more mindful of how much I put in my plate. I also tend to talk a little bit more, drink more water, spend more time conversating. I'm a naturally slow eater anyway, so eating socially is a way of life. There's no way to go about it. You can't just like avoid eating with your friends just to be skinny. So that's what I do when I go out and I eat socially. Stop eating midway and see how you feel. So I used to just eat everything on my plate. I would go out and whatever was in front of me, I would just eat it all. When I was little, my mom would tell me that if you didn't eat everything, then someone else somewhere is gonna die or something. I used to clear my plate and that was just how it was. Now what I do is like, if I go out and I eat, I just take half of it to go and I'll eat it. I'll keep pausing throughout to sort of check in my mind to see if I'm full. Because I feel like a lot of times, like you don't know that you're full until you've gone too far. I try to keep that in check and I sort of pause when I eat. Rewrite your food narrative. So for me, I used to treat food like it was a reward. And in my brain, I thought that, oh my God, I'm having a bad day, reward myself with food. I worked so hard, reward myself with food. And while I think that food is like a beautiful thing, I love eating, but I don't think that every meal has to be like the best meal you've ever had in your life. I think that some days you can just eat to survive and move on. So really rewriting my food narrative in my brain helped me on my weight loss journey. Oh, intermittent fasting. I naturally do this, but I tried to stick to it more when I became more conscious of my health. Intermittent fasting is when you can eat at a certain window. It could be like a 8-hour window, 6-hour window, if you're really crazy, like 4-hour window. And I naturally do it. I am not a morning person. I don't crave breakfast. So I'll usually have my first meal between 12 and 2. And then depending on where that lands, I'll end my meals around 6 to 8. And that's just like my eating window. To be completely transparent, I'm not like 1,000% diligent on intermittent fasting, but I just try to do it as often as I can. And for me, that just means skipping breakfast. For some people, it could mean skipping dinner. There's a lot of studies on it, so I really encourage you to read on studies before you start. Weigh yourself every day. I feel like this part is really hard because you're gonna step on the scale, you're gonna be like, ah. You're actively trying to lose weight, you need a point of reference. I think that weight is just the easiest form. Like I'm sure you can measure yourself, you can measure your stomach, you can measure your thighs, but knowing that your weight is going down is super important to track your progress and to keep you in check that yes, you are on a journey and you're gonna get there. Go out more. It doesn't have to be very expensive activities. It could be like mowing your lawn. It could be going to your library. It could be like going down the street and getting a coffee. I found that when I went out a lot, that my weight would actually dip a lot more because I would be so focused on having fun, hanging out with my friends, seeing things, walking around, that I would be less focused on eating. And I would also walk more because I'm from San Francisco and Parking here is crazy. No one really drives here, so I would be forced to take public transportation or Uber. It would just force me to walk more, which is a form of exercise in itself. But yes, I found that keeping myself busy really helped keep me distracted from eating. And you get to hang out with your friends. Don't compare yourself to other people. This is the biggest downfall for most people. I feel like back in the day, you had like that one hot girl in your school and she had like perfect abs and you'd be like, oh my gosh, she's so perfect. Like, what did she do to get those abs? Now, because of the internet, you can see many hot girls with many hot abs, which is great, but just like not for your self-esteem probably. I think that everyone's body type is very different, so it's really unfair to compare yourself to different people because what they look like at their peak physique and what you look like at your peak physique could be totally different. And that's just like also accepting that maybe there are certain things that are way harder for you to change. And I think having that outlook gives you a healthier perspective. You really should be doing this for yourself. You should be doing this because you want to be the peak version of yourself. This journey is about you. So I think having that in mind that everyone has a different body, everyone has different goals, it gives you an objective and it gives you motivation to keep going. Also realize that if people have really good bodies, they probably worked really hard at it. I used to think that people who had good bodies just ate Cheetos and woke up and they were hot. I used to think like, why am I trying so hard? Like, why do I make such healthy choices when someone can just like eat hot Cheetos and look like that? And it would make me really angry almost. After thinking about it, I'm like, no, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing it because I want to do it and I want to be a healthier person. That really helped change like everything. Treat yourself. I never used to treat myself whenever I would reach like a certain goal. I would just think like, no, like you've worked so hard, you don't deserve this. Seriously, treat yourself. It doesn't have to be food either. You know, like some people do cheat meals and whatever. I remember when I first dropped my first pant size and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And I immediately went and I got brand new cute shorts. And it was really crazy because I was like, I never thought I would fit into the size. And I did, and it felt so good. Treat yourself, treat your success. Try to eat foods that have higher water content. I don't know how true this is. A friend told me this. I didn't really like look at the scientific implications of it, but basically what she told me, if your stomach gets full off of weight, it can't really tell if that weight is from water or if it's from like an actual food source. Eating things that are really dense in water can trick your mind into thinking that you're very full. Find things you like eating that are healthy. I used to love carbs. Carbs were my thing. I didn't really crave sugar as much, but like I love like French fries and udon and pasta. I like love that stuff. When I started this, I thought that, oh my god, I'm just gonna have to eat salads all day. But I didn't realize that maybe I had a bad experience with a salad and like there are salads that taste really good. I think it's really important to find really healthy foods that you crave and you like. I might not be like a kale salad fan. Don't kill me, like kale is just really hard to eat with braces and it gets everywhere, but there's salads I do like. And I love soups, like I love soups and I love stews. So finding something that is healthy, that you really love and you crave is so important. You'll start craving it every day and then you won't feel bad about eating it too. Exercise. I don't really talk about exercise until now because I feel like for weight loss, exercise is important, but it is not absolutely essential. It is really hard for you to work off like 20 pieces of chocolate. If you're trying to lose weight, I feel like diet is the most important, and then exercise is good for just like your heart health and your mental well-being. It's good for you, but you can definitely achieve weight loss without it. So for me, I found that when I did really high intensity workouts, like boxing, for example, I would get so hungry. Like I'd come out of an hour of boxing and I would be like, where's the food? And I would end up overeating. And that's totally fair because when you work out, you get hungrier. So I found that when I'm trying to lose weight, I actually do lower intensity workouts. And finding workouts you like is so important, as well as foods that you like. So I would do things like Pilates or reformer Pilates or cycling. And right now, currently, I exercise like once or twice a week. I know I'm trying to like up it, but it's just very hard for my schedule. So when it's really hard for me to work with my schedule, what I do is I try to walk a lot, and I'll try to like segment my walking. So if I'm trying to get an hour of walking in, I'll get off from my bus a little early and I'll do like 20 minutes of walking in the morning, 20 minutes during lunch, and then 20 minutes during dinner. And I find that splitting the time up, it helps me achieve my health goals way easier, because if you told me I had to walk an hour after work, I would be so tired. 15 minutes every so often doesn't seem like a lot, but an hour just seems like a lot because you're taking a chunk of your time out. These were all of my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, if you want more health videos, maybe I'll do like a what I eat in a week video or something like that. And I'll see you next time. Bye!